What is up, guys? This is Hebs. I am doing an Xbox One recap slash analysis. This is to pretty much recap the conference, which was on Tuesday. If you guys have not seen my PS4 review, please go on my channel and check it out. It's really interesting. I suggest people are going to watch this, please watch that one as well, just so you can see both my opinions. But to get straight into it, Xbox One was revealed. They showed the hardware, the controls, all that. The Xbox itself looks like a cable box. That's how, the design's slick and nice, but it looks like a cable box. If it looks like a VCR, technically, if you think about it. So, if you look at everything else, though, like the controller is a very nice, slick design. The buttons are not round, though, like the previous controller. They're kind of flatter. Now, I don't know why, but I need round buttons so I can press them. I don't want flat, because if they're flat, it's like you're not hitting anything. They didn't really show a start or stop button or pause button. They have these two images. One was like 3 lines, then one had a double screen. I'm pretty sure one of them was a share button. So, I'm not sure. Overall, it said it had better battery pack life. The controller design, Xbox always comes out with a nice controller, so I think the controller is going to be nice. The hardware console itself, though, there's a lot to be seen or a lot to be said before I really buy into the Xbox One. Downside about the Xbox One is this. They did not really show a whole lot of games during the press conference. They showed about 4 games, maybe 5. The thing was, there was no gameplay. Now, this is the interesting thing, because Sony came out, they mentioned their PS4. When Sony did theirs, they mentioned their PS4, they mentioned their specs, and then they showed games. They took the opposite route. They didn't show the console. They took the opposite route. They were like, hey, we want to show games, we want to mention anything, we'll show you the PS4 at E3, which E3 is literally 17 days away from the press conferences starting. So it's really close. It's almost 2 weeks. It's really close. But Xbox took the reverse route and went ahead and was like, hey, you know what, we're not going to show you any games. We are going to go ahead and just show you the Xbox and the features that it can all do. You'll have to wait till E3 to see all of our games and gameplay. One thing they did mention about games, though, is that there's 15 IP exclusive. 8 of them are new, 7 are continuations. I'm pretty sure the continuations will be like maybe Call of Duty, Halo, and Gears, or if there's another Gears. There's 8 new IPs coming out. Now, see, 8 new exclusives, that can be an indie game, that can be an arcade game. I just hope that some of the 15 exclusive that they mentioned are AAA titles, because there has to be AAA titles. You can't just have all indie or arcade, because if you don't have at least a solid 6 of them, AAA titles, you will not make money on that. You need solid AAA titles to help exclusively wise, because that's where Xbox has fallen this past generation of gaming, is they were very low on exclusives. They were hoping Gears and Halo would boost them. It did for a while, but once Gears 3 and once Halo 4 came out, it went down the shitter, and Sony took advantage. If you look at the specs, they are very close to each other. The PS4 and the Xbox One both have 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's really good. Both have a 8-core GPU, I think, something like that. The thing is with the PS4 is they have an x86 graphics CPU, I think it is, something like that. When Microsoft didn't announce their graphics. Now, Microsoft announced they do have a USB 3.0. They do have the 8-core GPU. And they also said it's all cloud powered. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a big cloud user. I have never used cloud. But the thing with, they're saying cloud powered, it has to be connected to do updates and all. See, now this is where I'm going to get really picky with Xbox. I like Xbox. I like Sony. I was a big Sony supporter growing up, but when this 360, I said, hey, Sony, you're not showing me enough. I'm going to go with that. But here's the deal. Xbox One is a very questionable item for me, and this is why I say that. They brought out Kinect 2.0, and now the thing that came out, they say you need Kinect for it to function. I'm like, okay, so it has to be plugged in. Does it have to see me, or can I turn it away so I don't have to use it? They're saying Kinect has to be connected to the actual Xbox for it to function, which I understand when they're trying to get out to a broader group. The whole point of this conference for Xbox was to get out to the broader group that doesn't play games all the time but uses Xbox for like entertainment, Skype, and all that. I understand that. But to the hardcore gamers, this was a kind of a fail, a real fail on Microsoft's part. Because hardcore gamers, obviously, I'm pretty sure some of them use Netflix and stuff, but we don't care about all that little gibbery crap. We care about the game, the gaming. That is what I'm about. For a person who has been playing games since pretty much Dreamcast and going to Nintendo 64, GameCube, PS1, 2, all of this, I've seen nearly 17 years of gaming, of generation gaming and consoles. And I can truly say that I'm a hardcore gamer. I love hardcore games. The thing with Xbox One in this press conference is they did not mention the games. But I'll get back to that in a bit. But back to the use of it. It truly, and it was truly not what I expected. Like I said, Kinect, you needed to have a function. I was like, okay, I'll just turn around. It won't look at me. It mentioned it can read your heartbeat and all that. I'm like, I don't want a Kinect to read my heartbeat. I'm sorry. No, I don't need the all-seeing Kinect to check my heartbeat. 2, it said about the cloud. It has to be internet connected. A lot of things are going to have to be interconnected, and I understand that. But they said that you need to have it connected so the updates can happen. And it says when you put it in a game, a brand new game, let's say we buy a brand new Madden 25, right? And we put it in, there's a mandatory install. Now, I got to double check with the install thing, but if I remember correctly, it said once you install it into your cloud-based Xbox One, you will no longer need the disc. It will be completely interconnected to all the servers and everything, therefore you can just play the game without the disc. Now, I need to double check on that, but if that's true, that's a good thing. I like that. But here's my next problem. Fees. Apparently, and especially if you're taking a game over to a friend's house. Let's say I'm taking a friend over to my friend's house, to a barracks. Let's say I'm in the Marine Corps and I have an Xbox One. And I'm taking it over to my other friend's barracks, like up the next floor, and he doesn't have it and he wants to play it, right? For him to install the game onto his console, he has to pay a fee. Now, what I don't understand what Xbox is trying to do with the fees, but I think their plan behind all of this is to be able to do kind of a GameStop thing online where they can redistribute profit or something like that. I'm pretty sure. But the fees thing has been a big question, and it has been cleared by Major Nelson on his blog. But a lot of hardcore gamers are, like I said, are still speculating why. But yeah, I mean, with the cloud system, I like the cloud. I like always the internet thing. That's cool. I think that's a great way to move into the next gen. But then they came out with all the entertainment stuff and saying, oh, you can do this. You can screw the screen or do this or do that and do this and snap that and all this and NFL and all this fantasy. See, they're trying to appeal to the broader spectrum, which people do not have a wide view because some people don't have a tablet or an iPhone smart glass, and they need to be able to get out in front of their stuff with their Xbox. That's how they connect to everything. Well, for me, I don't mind using an input button. I don't mind. I'm going to have a laptop. I have a smartphone. I can use smart glass with my phone. I can check my laptop for my fantasy teams and stuff. So I don't need all this. Which, like I said earlier, hurt Xbox, because the hardcore gamers who have been diehard Xbox fans from the very first Xbox were disappointed. Now, I was never a big hardcore Xbox fan until the 360. I'm not a fanboy of the Xbox. I'm going to do what's best for me, financially. So all I can say is this, is Xbox has a lot to show at E3. I am very disappointed in their performance, and I think Sony is going to do a great job game-wise at E3. So, all I can say is this. Microsoft, get your head straight. Show the hardcore gamers what they want. The games, with actual gameplay. And one last thing before I leave, actually. EA came out and said, oh, FIFA 14 is going to have exclusive content for their Ultimate Team mode and all this on the Xbox. Now, see, okay, you're giving exclusive content to the Xbox people for FIFA. Okay, I understand that. But what does that mean for the rest of, like, Europe and all that? I mean, that's a good thing, but there's so many questions, guys. I recommend you go on YouTube and watch IGN, how much it should cost and all. You really need to pay attention because there's a lot of things I have not mentioned that you really need to check in. So this was just kind of throw together for you guys to understand just a brief idea of everything. Please, guys, check out my other video. E3 2 weeks away. I'm hoping for the best. Otherwise, guys, I will see you Monday with Marine Corps Mondays.